Oh, there we are. Hello, all. Thank you for your patience. Okay, we have, first of all, hi, I'm Casey Durango of Go Keto with Casey, where I talk about how I lost 97.4 pounds after starting the ketogenic protocol, how you may be able to lose weight, improve your health, and regain control of your life like I did. Now, if I could just regain control of my internet connection. Sorry, I was late. Internet connection went out just as I hit go live, so I had to do some things. Hello, can you see and hear me? Anyone can see and hear me? Hello, hello. Can you see me? Because it looks like I'm live. All right. So my screen still says waiting and I keep refreshing. Keep going. See, thank you. Takes a second. Keep going. Yes, we can see and hear you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So for those of you who are interested, like for 3 weeks in a row, I've had internet issues, but only like at about 10 o'clock in the morning throughout the week. It seems my router is at the end of its useful life and it needs to be replaced. I guess it's been trying to say, I'm sick, I'm sick, I'm sick, put me out of my misery. So that will be our next little thing. So, okay, today's topic is keto day by day, as if we have any other option. But I do want to talk about this seriously. It's easy to become overwhelmed with the idea of doing anything every day for the rest of your life. Anything. Okay. So before I jump into that, I do want to give a little primer on how I learned and how I have practiced the ketogenic protocol for these 11 years plus. Keep your carbohydrate intake to 20 grams or fewer a day. Total carbs, not net carbs. Net carbs is just more carbs. It's on page 4, link below. Don't eat it, but you don't even need a food list. Don't eat if you're not hungry. 100% the hardest part for most people. Stop eating when you've had enough. 100% the second most challenging part for most people. And then I've added be patient and persevere. So that's it. So then you think, well, that doesn't sound so tough. And it's not. Stacy, thank you. Oh, super chat. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That really helps. And with the super chat, I might have to invest in a new router. Okay. Actually, if I get to my goal of 5 super chats of at least $2 today, I will publish a behind the scenes video. And Karen from Utah really wants it to be about chickens. Anywho, so, okay, keep your carbs low. But then we have to implement that. And for many of us who have spent literally decades, even if you're 20 years old, you've spent close to 2 decades eating very probably carb-laden, convenient food. It's what has happened for much of Western culture, and particularly in the United States, where it's, Pop-Tarts for breakfast and Taco Bell for lunch and et cetera, et cetera. So the idea of saying, wait a minute, no more Pop-Tarts ever? Yeah, well, Pop-Tarts, for one thing, are not nutritious. They barely classify as food. And Pringles is barely food adjacent. But that nonetheless, that's how many of us were raised. Karen in Utah, thank you so much. Oh, Karen, it's going to be chickens. It's going to be a behind the scenes chickens. Thank you. So many of us get bogged down, and I know I did. If you want to see, you could see some not even totally before photos, some kind of a lot of the time photos at my blog, link below. I was overweight, obese, and morbidly obese for 30 years, from my mid-20s to my mid-50s. I had tried it all like you have. And I knew that low carb worked, but then I would tell myself, I can't see myself going for the rest of my life without eating tortilla chips. I love tortilla chips, and I love my husband's salsa that he makes. So we would buy the abuelita tortilla chips at Costco, big giant bags, 5 bags at a time, and we would eat them. So when we tell ourselves, I can't see going the rest of my life without doing XYZ, then it makes it difficult to do that. And I couldn't go without tortilla chips until I did. And now I couldn't care less. If we went to a Mexican restaurant, which we rarely do anymore because we're very good cooks anymore, and we don't need that much food, we bring pork rinds, wave off the tortilla chips, and take the salsa. If they brought me a basket of gravel, I could not be less interested than if they brought me a basket of tortilla chips. So what we do is we don't say, I can't see going the rest of my life with either not doing something or having to do something. Then it's overwhelming. You know the old phrase that ain't nothing new. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Someone says, go eat that elephant. You say, well, excuse me? If someone, what's the other phrase? A journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step. Someone says, walk 1,000 miles. Are you crazy? No, you have step by step, day by day, moment by moment. And forget about food. If someone said, you're going to have 3 children spread over the course of 7 years, which means you're going to have babies in diapers for a really long time. You're going to have 10,000 poopy diapers you're going to change. You say, 10,000 poopy diapers? No, you change one diaper at a time. Otherwise, none of us would get through it. Right? I vote no poopy diapers. So let's just forget about what you have to do every day. Just do it today. And then what happens is, and the wonderful thing about the ketogenic protocol is when you reduce your carbohydrate intake sufficiently, and the fire hose of glucose is no longer spouting out from your liver, glucose being sugar, and your body's running on sugar, and then your brain is burning sugar, and so it says, get me some more sugar, some more glucose, because glucose can't be stored in the blood, and the brain is an energy hog, and so about every 2.5 or 3 hours, it needs more glucose. When you reduce your carbohydrate intake sufficiently, your liver stops pumping out glucose. Your body switches happily to burning ketone bodies or fat for fuel. Your brain loves burning ketones for energy. It's much more efficient. I got really smart again. I went from being pretty daggum smart to kind of, what are you, foggy? And now I'm smart again because I'm burning fat for fuel in my brain. But the great thing about that is when you're doing that, your body's not calling for more food every 2.5 or 3 hours. Now, our habits may. Let's not conflate I feel like eating with I'm hungry. That's different. Let's not conflate where, I always eat at this time with I need to eat. Mhm. We need to work on the habits, but wonderfully, burning fat for fuel, our actual hunger and appetite is suppressed. So it's not such a struggle to say, I'm going to go all day without eating tortilla chips because I don't want tortilla chips. I haven't eaten a tortilla chip in 11 years, at least. And that is an amazing thing to me. My Colombian husband has not had a scoop of rice or a serving of beans or potatoes in almost 11 years. He was a little bit of a trailing spouse as far as that goes, but it's going on 11 years. It can be done, and then you're okay without it. But it's moment by moment, mouthful by mouthful, day by day. And we really don't have an option of more than a day at a time. There's a movie, 28 Days with Sandra Bullock. She's a knee walking. She goes into rehab 28 days. By the way, fun fact, that rehab is in the mountains of North Carolina. At least it was filmed here. And Sandra Bullock is rebellious and contrarian. And she's in the director's office. She's getting chewed out for breaking the rules or something. Steve Buscemi is the director. And there's like this little plaque or something on his desk. And she's spewing off stuff. And she's da. And she's leaving the room. And she turns around and says, oh, by the way, what is this one day at a time bit? Like we have a choice for more than one day at a time? It's absolutely true. There's a reason 12-step programs say one day at a time. It's overwhelming to think. So if you're just starting, and you have a thing, you say, well, I've never made it through a Saturday yet without ending the day in front of the television with a beer and a big old bowl of popcorn. Okay, for one thing, let's flip that script and use the word yet. Yet is a powerful word. I haven't made it through a Saturday yet without popcorn. Yet means it can happen. So just today is Saturday. I'm just making up an example. Prepare yourself and say, I'm not going to eat popcorn this evening in front of the tube. I mean, if you need, get some beef jerky or something, or don't eat at all. It's possible to actually watch a movie or a television program without eating. And then you do it. And they say, wow, I did that. It was one thing at a time. Some people titrate themselves off of certain foods. They say, well, I can't give it all up cold turkey. So they come off of sugary sodas. Great. And then they say, I'm just going to take all the white food out. No bread or pasta or white rice. Great. And then you kind of go this way. That's what my husband did. He kind of ate through the food that we had. He said, just don't buy any more rice or beans or chips, and don't bake any more bread. I baked really good honey wheat bread, ground the wheat berries up myself, very Earth Mother. He said, just don't make any more. I was surprised. So he ate through what there was, and then that was it. One day at a time. One decision at a time. Sometimes it's one 30-minute segment at a time. Highly recommend using your stupid smartwatch or an egg timer or any timing device you've got to say, I really feel like eating right now. Don't say I'm hungry if you're not hungry. I feel like eating right now, but I don't really need to eat right now, but I really want to eat right now. Set a timer, 15 minutes or 5 or 30 or an hour, and say, maybe I'll eat in 15 minutes, but I'm not going to eat right now. It's very effective. You take the pressure off of the absolutely not ever again, which is tough, and say, maybe later, but not now. I use the timer. This time at low carb, it was right for me. I was in the right frame of mind. I did not want to take insulin for type 2 diabetes, as opposed to all those other times. For me, that was the motivator. Before it had been, and there's nothing wrong with this, before it had been cosmetic. But this time in on January 8th, 2014, I felt awful about myself. I felt physically sore and exhausted and cemented to the ground. And I knew my health was going to start faltering chronically. They call it chronic diseases for a reason. It's not like breaking your ankle, which is a very acute situation. Type 2 diabetes creeps up on you. Lung cancer, if you're a smoker, creeps up on you. So anyway, that was my motivation. I was fine. And I lost weight. I'd given up on losing weight. I lost weight this one time. I had kind of plateaued. Things had really slowed up, which is normal. I'd been, for a while. I went to my very first Durham Support Group meeting in person with Dr. Eric Westman at Spartacus Restaurant in Durham, North Carolina. Spartacus is gone. And I sat in the back behind the column and I asked the question, I'm in ketosis. I'm burning fat for fuel. I know I'm And so he went kind of down the questions, because I said, I've lost whatever it had been at that point, 35 pounds. And I've kind of not. So like the fourth question was, do you only eat when you're hungry? Oops. So I realized I was eating out of habit. It was all perfectly good page 4 food, but it was habit. It's like the next morning, I found myself standing in front of that refrigerator over there with the doors open. It's like 10 o'clock in the morning. And I asked myself, why am I here? Am I here out of habit or out of hunger? By the way, you can get stickers and magnets and stuff below at my spread shop link below. Are you here out of habit or out of hunger? And I said, it's a habit. I'm not hungry. Close the door. And then I said, maybe I'll eat. And I set it on my previous stupid smartwatch. 15 minutes, set a timer. And then in 15 minutes, I was fine. I said another 15 minutes. And so I kind of went through that until finally I was actually hungry, maybe 2 hours later, right? It's one moment, one decision, one day at a time. Don't ask for yourself to live next week. We can't live next week. We also can't go back to last week. We get right now to make our decisions. And you don't have to wait for a Monday or first of the month or after the holidays or after Super Bowl. By the way, Super Bowl is actually supposed to be a sporting event and not an eating event, but it's an eating event for a lot of people. You don't have to wait. Start right now. Distract yourself. Ask yourself, are you eating out of hunger or out of habit? Are you eating more fuel than you require? I require much less than I did even a year ago. Well, less than I did a year ago, much less than I did 5 years ago. Why? Because I'm older. My body composition is different and hormones come into all this play. I'm an oldster. I just don't require that much food. So I want to turn my attention right now to you guys. Thank you for the super chats. You means a lot. And I'm going to talk with you guys. I do want to have a little commercial. First of all, you don't have to buy one thing to be 100% successful at the protocol. No supplements, no powders, no products, nothing. It's not what you put in your mouth. It's what you don't put in your mouth. Lay off the carbs. Judy Porterfield, another super chat. Thank you. I'm going to have to do a behind the scenes. So, but I will sell you a green book. And actually, this might be helpful. And thank you to all the people. A lot of these have been sold in the last month or so. Go to my blog, see it in the sidebar, take you to Amazon. It's a record book. It's mood tracker. It's inspirational sayings. You know, I hope they're inspirational. Message from me on that. Just one day at a time. 1 hour at a time. We can do this. If I can do this, you can do this. I promise. Look at my pictures. I didn't get to be that big by being really, disciplined in my food or exercise. So I do want to, and I want to thank patrons, several of whom are here. I really appreciate it. I have a private support group on patreon.com, link below, and you can read all about it. And there's a free trial period. If you want to check it out for a week, you can. If you like it, you stay. If you don't, you won't. So I'm going to look at comments. Let me see how high I can go. Doris Commissaric, hello from Michigan. Judy Porterfield. Morning, Casey, and all from Michigan. And Chris J, thumbs up. Is it live? Oh, that was before I came on. From Arizona is Lala. While we wait, remember the like button. Thank you, Chris J. Okay, we'll get down to hear and see you. Yay, can see and hear. Yay, can see and hear. Yay, yay, yay. We love you, Casey. Thank you, Stacy. And how's the new baby? There was a long wanted new baby in Stacy's life. Come on, everyone, you router fund. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Good morning from Texas. I try not to think about not being able to have foods ever. It helps me. Taking it day by day helps me. I think it's key for many of us. Now, some people say, I can do anything for a week. I'll do it for a week or 30 days. But for some of us, it is overwhelming. And then you start to feel deprived, like you're being punished. Everyone else can eat all the food. But let's not fall into that trap, because look around us. Everyone else may be eating the food that we love, but they're not all getting away with it, air quotes. Let's be real about that. Jackie Savoy, hi, Casey. And Carmen Simmons, greetings, Casey. Thank you. And a hibiscus. Where's that flag from, Carmen? I like that. Cynthia, good morning. And good morning, Casey. And everyone writes Cynthia. And Heidi Watts, good morning, Casey. I also use pork rinds with a keto dip that I am making for a Super Bowl party tomorrow. Good for you. What is this target meme? 2 out of 5. Okay, so this is something YouTube came up with. So I can set a little goal. I made the smallest one I can make. 5 $2 super chats. And if I reach that, my pledge is that I will publish a behind the scenes video. And Karen from Utah has requested specifically about the chickens. Jill's mommy, church Super Bowl chili competition tomorrow. Keto chili coming in hot. Judy Porterfield, yes. Heidi Watts, same here. Plus a keto chili. I do also. It sure fills you up without wanting the junk. And Judy writes, hubby had popcorn, and I used to love popcorn, but wasn't interested. I did some pork rinds and dip, though. And I really do like popcorn. And my husband and I would eat an entire Orville Redenbacher microwave popcorn bag each. That's supposed to be like a serving for 4 each bag. And sometimes we go back for more. Joanne Cardew, good morning from Michigan. And Karen from Utah, granddaughter has popcorn all the time over here. Doesn't bother me. And yes, pork rinds occasionally when I want crunch. Jill's mommy, 2 out of 5 super chats. Anyone have a $1.99 super chat? It's actually 2 things, y'all. It's like, anyway, I'm not going to talk about that. I appreciate it, really. I mean, it's kind of embarrassing to do, but I very much appreciate. Let's celebrate their first super chat. Yay. Terry Hubbard, great talk as always. Deanna Wade, D here. Hey, D. Great info. Howdy from Oatmeal, Texas. You got to love that name. Dee joined us for the Amy and Casey show on Tuesday evening, which was a lot of fun. Amy and I very much like each other. We really didn't care for each other before we met each other. We kind of we were giving the side eyes online to each other. I think for my part, I was just envious. Colleen Sproul, good morning. Important conversation. Thank you, Colleen. Jill's mommy, he's perfect. Thank you, Andrew. He's good inspiration. I won't, Stacy's been very sweet. Stacy's daughter had a baby, on Thursday of week last, and it's been a long anticipated and a long road to hoe. So we're very happy for them. Doc Swingal, I tend to eat the same thing all the time. Gotten so I hate to cook. You and me both, sister. It does not bother me at all having the same thing over and over. And it's interesting. I'm finding even now that my body reacts differently to even foods that I've kind of eaten all the way through than it used to. I'm particularly sensitive to edema, to water retention. I don't have high blood pressure, knocking on wood, but I will just, whoosh. And some of my patrons are aware that I've several times declared that I have another episode of a condition I made up and then self-diagnosed, idiopathic seasonal edema. But I think it is actually sodium, and so I'm kind of winding that down. And that's a lesson. Our bodies change. Foods that used to be fine for us maybe don't suit us so well anymore. And that's okay. We can change things up. Deanna Wade, loved it, meaning the Amy and Casey show. I really appreciate that. That was fun. Our intention is to do the Amy and Casey show the first Tuesday of every month, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, online at Crowdcast, which is a platform very similar to YouTube. Y'all should try to check it out. It's great and fun. Thank you, Dee. I think we need to be open for ourselves to be different than other people. There is not one way to get to where you want to be. There are very many happy, healthy, content, trim, clear-eyed vegans. There are many carnivore people who are the same. And some are they just kind of follow a move more, eat less, broad spectrum diet, and they get along fine. Why do we think we're all the same? Because we clearly are not all the same. I dare say, metabolically, I am probably very much like many, many other people. The thing with metabolic situations. By the way, I want to give a little thing. There's something called metabolic syndrome, used to be called Syndrome X, and it's been found to be a pretty good predictor for risk of cardiovascular disease. And here is what it is. There are 5 components, and you are said to be at higher risk for cardiovascular disease if you have 3 or more out of the 5. The 5 components are large waist circumference, high blood pressure, high blood sugar, high triglyceride, low HDL. Okay, I'll say it again. Large waist circumference, high blood pressure, high blood sugar, high triglyceride, low HDL. What's not on there? Overall cholesterol, BMI, age, gender. And also, it means you can have 4 out of 5 high blood pressure, high blood sugar, high triglyceride, low HDL, and a small waist circumference. And you can be at quite high risk. Also, you can have large waist circumference and none of the other things and be at low risk. But most people are going to be like me. And these conditions, the high blood pressure, high blood sugar, high triglyceride, low HDL, and large waist circumference come on over time. It might feel like it, but it doesn't happen overnight. I was as cute as a bug in my youth. And then after the birth of our second child, I put on 60 pounds with that pregnancy and simply never lost it. And he was a 10-pounder. I, by right, should have lost it like at least 8 pounds. Anyway, and then emotions come into it. My husband was working 3 jobs so that I could stay at home with the babies. And then I was lonely. And then it was the low fat days and all that stuff. And so over time, I got bigger and bigger and sadder with myself. Happy life, sad inside my brain. So if something is chronically, let's look at it this way. If something gets chronically worse over time, let's flip the script and say, I'm going to get chronically better over time. It will not happen by next Monday. Chronically better. My blood markers are perfect. I lost 47 pounds in the first year. That's on average, less than a pound a week. And it took 2 more years to lose the next 50 pounds to get to 97.4 pounds. I got chronically better. Some things got better pretty quickly. Joint pain, my brain came back, my mood regulated. But let's get chronically better instead of chronically worse. And how do we do that? Day by day. Decision by decision. Mouthful by mouthful. Being okay with the fact that, okay, I'm eating roast chicken and green beans and everyone else is eating that, but they're also eating biscuits. Let's be okay with the fact that we're not going to eat a biscuit. We're not going to die. It'll be okay. It'll be okay. No biscuits. I mean, really, let's think about this logically. Roast chicken and green beans. Wonderful. No biscuits. Friends, I'm going to look at this and then I'm going to get ready to sign off. JJ's Life Adventure. Appreciate you keeping it simple. Yes, one day at a time. Go, Casey. And Judy Porterfield. Thanks, Gels, Mommy. Jackie Savoy. What do you eat when you have a bad cold with a sore throat? Interesting. Well, fortunately, I don't often have that anymore. I used to get sick 4 or 5 times a year, and now I really don't. Well, I don't worry about what I'm going to eat. I mean, honestly, sometimes bad cold and a sore throat kind of, kills your appetite. But I can have broth, hot, warm broth. I can eat everything I would eat if I'm going to eat. Why I wouldn't eat any? I guess I'm saying, why would I eat anything different? If I have a sore throat, I'll have to listen to that. No, I'm not going to eat ice cream because I have a sore throat. I'll drink some bone broth or eat some very soft scrambled eggs or something. But if I'm not hungry, I'm not going to eat. So I don't differentiate between what to do when you're sick and when not. Dachshungal, bone broth, organic, 20-gram protein per cup, and Aldi organic bone broth. There you go. Boom. Deanna Wade, lots of hot tea. Judy Porterfield, I do tea with a bit of lemon and bone broth when sick. And a message retracted, Judy Porterfield, throat coat tea too. Is that a thing? Throat coat? Never heard of that. Judy writes, have a great weekend, Casey and all. And Chris J, thank you. Christina Paulischik and Jackie Savoy, thanks, everyone. Okay, guys, just let's not put more pressure on ourselves than we need. We can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. One day at a time. Don't think about what you got to do next month or what's going to happen next holiday season. Just be present and show up for yourself. We often show up for everyone else. Let's show up for ourselves. Okay. Dr. Teresa Ulrich, throat coat is a thing. I have used it. Okay, great. Live chats every Saturday at 10. That's what I do. And I've been doing them for a long time. Saturday, Eastern Standard Time or Eastern Time. Yes, Saturday mornings. Okay, friends. Thanks. I'm going to go research a router. Bye. Hit the like button. Thanks, guys.